Hey everybody, Drew here for Jedi Games. Welcome to episode number 4 of the Breaking Rocks podcast, or whatever you want to call it. Joining me for this episode, as it is the case for every episode and generally everything that I do involving general discussions about general topics and shit and stuff, is my younger brother, Desert Nord, joining me in party chat as usual. Hey bro.
Yep. Hey.
What have you been watching lately?
Well, just kind of the news more than anything. But as far as YouTube,
Yeah.
I've been watching live streams from a whole bunch of our usuals.
Yeah, Friday Night Tights was on Friday. They had the EFAP guys on there talking about Lord of the Rings and whatnot.
Which turns out was Mauler, correct?
It was Mauler and two other guys.
Yeah.
I can't remember who, but it was hilarious as hell.
Yeah, as expected.
Yeah. And especially when Az was trying to protect Ryan by saying something about Paul Walker at the time.
Yep.
They're
always making that Paul Walker joke stuff.
Yeah. So, but we're not going to be doing that here, but we will get into Lord of the Rings at some point here. I've also been watching a lot of other people's reactions to Tom MacDonald's Snowflakes, which we're also going to talk about some of the lyrics from the song and that in general. So, to run down all of the topics for you guys for today, first we're going to be getting into, and the first few things are old news, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet together on camera here, much less with you guys. So, Disney deleted their critical race theory program when they caught backlash for it, and rightly so. Julio Jones said on ESPN that he is out of Atlanta when Shannon Sharpe called him live on camera and did not tell him that until after he got done talking to him about his future with the Atlanta Falcons. And there is an update to him getting traded, which we will get into, which happened the other day or so. Also, supposedly George Lucas is getting his own trilogy. Yeah, fucking right he is. We'll get into that and what that could mean, or if it actually is even real. Lord of the Rings getting remade, and we'll get into that horse shit mess. Like I said, Tom MacDonald's Snowflakes, and a Ninth Court judge has, in a court ruling in a court of law, deemed The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi as mediocre Shockley.
Yep.
So we'll get into that. And finally, something that I want to talk about on camera with you, Nord. Why do female characters look like someone beat them with the ugly stick anytime you have like a model basically being the physical model for a video game character, for example, and then when we see the character in trailers, it looks nothing like the actress or the model that plays her. But yet, with guys, it looks like them most of the time anyway. And the double standard and the hypocrisy and the sexism that basically portrays to the world, and we'll get into that as well. So, with that being said, Disney and their critical race theory program, when this broke, this was right around the time, give or take, at least I think it might have been right after Coca-Cola's Be Less White training shit.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, right?
Sure.
Critical race theory. I'll let you take it from here to explain it.
Well, in the case of Coke, They were just, caught having the presentation given by Robin DiAngelo, which is the woman who wrote the book on white fragility.
which is basically critical race theory, right? Nord, I think I lost him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, it turned off again.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, they were caught doing the presentation from Robin DiAngelo about uh, critical race theory, about
Yeah.
the whole idea that every white person is racist and only those white people are racists and everyone else is victims of their oppression and they need to apologize and need to stop being white and all this other stuff.
So to explain to the viewers that may not know, what actually is critical race theory?
Well, I kind of sort of hit it right there.
Okay, that's fair
It's
then.
the idea that histrionics dictates that whites need to apologize for their very existence to everyone that isn't white.
Yeah. So,
Um,
so like I was saying, this came to light. Disney, evidently from reports that had, like I said, this is all old news now. Everyone's
yeah,
moved
it
on
is.
from all of this, but Disney got
Well,
caught,
not the not
and
the not the critical race theory part of it. The
well,
CRT thing is just continuing
but the fact
in
that
across
Disney,
all sorts of places.
but the fact that Disney had a training program with this and they pulled it is what I'm talking about by the old news.
Oh well, see, um, I don't know if Disney pulled it, but Coke
Well,
did.
it was reported that that Disney was catching a lot of fucking heat for it. So,
Sure, yeah, everybody that's doing it is catching heat for it now.
so
Now that
they,
people are realizing what it's about.
yeah, and according to reports at the time, what I was getting was they were pulling it from being used at that point. In the case of Disney,
Sure. Well, I mean, what's the point of doing like something so uh, clearly racist and clearly
considering,
just plainly political?
considering that Disney has already been gotten backlash for being racist for shrinking Finn on the poster for China
Sure,
in the
they
first
can't
place.
help themselves anymore. They've become so race obsessed they don't even realize that is pretty much how you become a racist. But they didn't catch that until it was too late.
And speaking of China, coincidentally on Midnight's Edge, there was a video recently in which they had, let me try to find it quickly here. Yeah, it's called Leaving China, the beginning and end of Hollywood's catering. So, they had, what's his face that they've had on their streams before. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's well known in Hollywood as a writer, though.
Oh, you mean yeah, his name's escaping me too.
Yeah,
Um,
but
yeah, but I can see his freaking face.
yeah, and I'll recognize his voice anywhere too. But they had him on, and he was, and he and it's not Tom, but the other guy.
No, I know it's the other. He's sort of
He
he seems kind of
sounds,
Latino, maybe.
I would say British,
Oh, okay, yeah.
the British guy that's on there, or the British sounding guy on there. But the two of them were going over how it seems like the agenda in Hollywood now is to abandon China and pandering to them at this point. What took you so long?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where again, how did the moral compass of everyone in this company not already tell them don't deal with a country that literally has concentration camps?
And secondly, it seems like from watching this that it's a one-way street that basically China blackmails companies into doing things their way, but the companies don't see any extra profit for it. China keeps all the money
Of course.
from all of it. And some companies are finally starting to see, oh, this is actually not even profiting us to do this type of situation. So at least some people are waking up to it that should have been awake the entire time, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, it's sad that it comes down to a money revelation, but it should have come down to a lot of other revelations before that.
Yeah, it should have.
Yeah, like a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have a list of reasons not to deal with a country or a government.
Yeah.
But then you finally get the, okay, now it's not working for me monetarily. Now I'm going to back away. These people have no soul.
You just figure that out?
No, I didn't just figure that out, but
yeah,
I've known that for years. I'm just saying this is like solid proof. It's not just an opinion. These people truly have no soul.
Speaking of no soul and questionable decisions, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of the show is on ESPN, but he and some other guy that usually talk about sports on there. Shannon Sharp called Julio Jones directly live on air.
Yeah.
And actually asked him point blank if he was still in Atlanta or if he was going to the Cowboys, because Julio had taken a picture with a fan in a Dallas Cowboys hoodie. So that's what prompted all of that.
Yeah, because he was too excited to keep it in.
To keep it in that he's not going to be playing in Atlanta this upcoming season, which we'll get into in just a few minutes here. Oh. Well.
Yeah, I meant Shannon was too excited to just keep it to himself.
Yeah, so he called him up live on air, didn't tell him anything until after Julio got done saying what he said, which simply is, I'm out of there in reference to the Falcons, which we all figured anyway, so it was not news. The only news here was calling somebody up live on air and to only tell them after they got done speaking that they were live on ESPN at that point, which is a shitty fucking move to do by Shannon Sharp.
Julio was more than probably thinking this was just a regular phone call from Shannon.
Well, as Shannon said, hey Julio, it's Uncle Sharp or whatever he has him call him. Therefore, seemingly, to me, trying to make it sound like it's just a random phone call, which it wasn't. But it is what it is. But as an update to all of this, I don't know if it was 48 hours ago or 24 hours ago at this point, but in the last couple of days, it has come out that Julio Jones is officially traded now to the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
So the campaign by the players of the Titans seemed to have worked. They got Julio. And seemingly for a second-round pick and like a 5th or 6th or something like that.
Yep.
Something along those lines. But definitely a second-round pick somewhere in there is going to Atlanta from the Titans for Julio. So anything to add before we get to the next one?
Yep. I don't have anything else to say about that because that was just kind of, very straightforward situation.
Yeah, and anything to add about what we expect for the Titans with Julio Jones there now?
Well, he's definitely a very important addition at that point.
Yeah, because with the Titans, you
kind of hope that the quarterback situation ends up benefiting him instead of anything other than that.
Yeah, because it's Tannehill there, but with proper talent around him, he can be good.
Yeah.
And And Julio is only going to take pressure off of the other top receiver that they have there, AJ, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And then there's Beast Mode 2.0, as I like to call him, in the backfield.
Yeah, he is pretty damn good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the next Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
In my view,
yeah, that guy was carrying the team.
Literally. Because he's the running back, so. But,
Yep.
speaking of carrying franchises, George Lucas. I figured that was a good segue to get to George Lucas. Speaking of carrying a franchise, because he created the fucking thing. Reports are claiming that George Lucas is supposedly getting his own trilogy. Yeah, fucking right he is. If he hasn't by now, it ain't gonna fucking happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And with all the fucking talk constantly about Kennedy's forced out, Kennedy's gone, Kennedy's this, Kennedy's that, until we get to Star Wars Celebration in 2022, and Bob, whoever the fuck is running Disney and Lucasfilm at that point, walks on the stage and introduces anyone else other than Kennedy as the president of Lucasfilm, I'm not going to believe any of this fucking shit at this point. Because of how much misinformation there has been out there about fucking everything since Disney bought Star Wars in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's my rant on all of that. Anything to add, Nord?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like even now Disney has effectively killed Star Wars, and I almost don't even care what they do with it from now. On.
Now, not to confuse anyone, if this actually is happening and George is getting his own trilogy, it's a good thing. But I don't believe that Disney would actually do this given what they've already done with Star Wars to this point, and the fact that, as Justin Is Lost said in a video earlier today, that it seems like they're trying to erase Jedi from the franchise at this point.
Yeah.
Which isn't Star Wars at that point, because Star Wars isn't Star Wars without Obi-Wan, without Luke, without Anakin. Guess what? They're fucking Jedi.
Well, I mean, they can create a whole bunch of new characters, but you have to write them correctly.
Which they don't.
They don't know how it works.
Not only do they not know how it works, they don't know how to do anything. Over there at
Well, I mean,
Disney
they're not
and
good writers
Lucasfilm
about anything, but they're definitely not. They have no concept of what they should be doing with Star Wars. They just think it's a platform for their politics.
Kind of like retailers were trying to sell next-gen consoles. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And in turn, they're just turning away customers and selling it to fucking scalpers only. But it is what it is.
Not to trivialize Star Wars, but it'd be like if the creators of, Barney the Purple Dinosaur decided to make Barney a communist.
Depending on your point of view, you probably could have made that statement and not been.
No, I'm just saying that in like a positive way.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what are they even doing?
I'll tell you, they're trying to brainwash the children any more than.
Well, sure, using it as a platform for their politics.
Then has already been going on by the music that we listen to.
Yeah.
And by other things like some of the curriculum in schools now. Just trying to brainwash the future generations.
That is a long-standing habit.
I'm well aware of that.
I mean, easily 100 years on that one.
Speaking of alienating everybody, Lord of the Rings. at this point. The the fan website claimed that they were dealing with hatred towards bigotry and other horse shit without providing receipts, as Ryan Kinnell would put it.
Yeah.
And basically saying that all fans of Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings themselves are all problematic. And as I said to our own mom on the phone last night, trying to explain all of this, because supposedly the reports of nudity coming to the remake of Lord of the Rings, Mom asked me, well, why would they remake Lord of the Rings? Because there isn't enough male nudity in it, which was none.
It's very strange.
Yeah. So, it's bad enough that they took Star Wars, Doctor Who, which I've never been a fan of in the first place, Star Trek, now Lord of the Rings. Now what's next?
Well, you missed a few.
Well, yeah, obviously. I was trying to go quickly.
Yeah, I mean, they killed Charlie's Angels, they killed Terminator, they killed a list of IPs.
Yeah. So now they're after Lord of the Rings at this point now, too. These snowflakes know no bounds. And speaking of
Yeah, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yeah. And speaking of snowflakes, Friday a new music video and song came out, which I did a reaction on this very channel. If you guys want to go see my reaction to Tom McDonald's Snowflakes, please go do that. Before or after you get done watching this, it doesn't matter that much to me. You can just come back and finish watching this if you want, because it's on the same channel anyway. But Tom McDonald's Snowflakes. I'll throw it to you first before I say anything that I think I've already said in the reaction video of me watching the music video.
Yep. Tom definitely has a way of
words
smashing the hell out of ridiculous point of view.
Yeah. For example,
he definitely has a way of humiliating people who are, very proud of their stupidity.
For example, in the song, we're concerned with guns killing kids, but abortion kills way more children.
Sure, it's a point, yeah. Well, I mean, it was a point that was probably made about a year and a half ago, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, at one point, it's hypocrisy reigns.
Hypocrisy has been a thing our entire lives in our country.
Sure, the same ideology that worships bravery and pretends that every single thing that is not being immutably white and male is brave.
Yeah. Another line from the song that needs to be talked about is giving money
at the same time.
Yeah, is giving money and benefits to bums who don't want to work. And I'm paraphrasing
also being worried about safety,
obviously. Yeah, and I'm paraphrasing this part, but giving money and benefits to bums who don't want to work, but ignoring veterans.
Okay, some of your remote cut off.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, bro.
Yep.
So like I was saying before it cut off for you, and I'm paraphrasing part of this at least, because I don't remember the exact words, but giving money and benefits to bums and lazy people who do not want to work while ignoring veterans' needs.
Well, sure, that,
was talked about in the song too.
That's an even older crisis.
Yeah. And then there's the pronoun thing that he brought up, because everyone's a retard these days,
Sure, and then
as
one
he
he
put it.
probably hasn't even mentioned yet is
And
the
and the f-
environmentalist hypocrisy.
and the fact that in the video was also Blair White.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I don't know if you know her or not.
yeah, I do.
Yeah, I didn't when I reacted to the video, so I was thinking that it was just the same blonde-haired girl from People So Stupid, just with dyed hair. I was wrong.
They all kind of look similar, don't they?
Well, an attractive lady is an attractive lady just the same. Just
Well, Blair,
to me,
see,
at least.
Blair's a former male, of course.
I know that. I figured that out from watching other people's reactions who actually
But
knew her.
yeah, the thing about her though is that she's more of a darling of conservatives because she's been a Trump supporter for a while,
Hmm, that's fair.
which is of course very strange coming from the trans community.
And I don't care.
But again, yes, this is like one of the things that conservatives are able to do that liberals are not is look past people's identities.
Yeah. So with all of this being said, as Tom said, snowflakes melt when it gets hot. Yeah. So we gotta turn up the heat, folks.
Yeah, well,
And I'm at a point where it's being pointed out to me by other people that know me around here that it seems like the heat's gonna be getting turned up on some of this bullshit soon.
oh yeah, well, I mean it. It can only go so far before people react, and we're way past the reaction stage.
Yeah.
We're
We're
we're into almost the you better not try it or we'll smash your, you know, we'll
well
end your effing life.
Well, it's not so much
Essentially.
that in the case of some of these companies is you don't want our money? All right, fine.
Yeah, no, I know.
And and more people are going that direction, and some of these
I
companies
just meant that
are going
the
to be filing for bankruptcy at that point.
I just meant that the amount of wokeness has gone past the point of triggering a full blown movement of people against it.
Yeah, and it's not
It is
just
to the
left or
point where the
right; it's
average
also
person is
normies
like,
too.
"Oh, there they go, being woke again." That's
Yeah,
the average person's point of view now.
yeah,
Whereas if you
and
were looking back 2 or 3 years, you'd say only people who were conservative, very politically actively conservative, would be annoyed by wokeism.
yeah.
Now it's everybody.
So speaking of waking up, uh, a Ninth District Circuit Court judge by the name of Kenneth K. Lee, I don't know what state, I'm thinking probably Texas for all I know, calls The Last Jedi
Okay.
and The Rise of Skywalker mediocre and 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 Shockley or whatever that's supposed to mean in a ConAgra ruling. So, what happened here was two parties were disagreeing, I think, from what I understand, over language of a product or something. And the judge was comparing the lunacy of it to The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker in a court of law in their ruling of this whole other situation and calling Disney Star Wars mediocre and whatever that other word is.
Yeah, okay.
So, according to a Ninth Circuit Court in some state somewhere, Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi are mediocre. And that's a court ruling now, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. It's been convicted as mediocre in a court of law.
Apparently.
It's actually funny,
Yeah, as
but that's also kind because it was worse than mediocre.
yeah, it was actually devastating to the brand that is Star Wars
it's
as a
one
whole.
of the most it's one of the most horrifyingly poorly written high budget movies in all of history.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine if the studio back in the day, in like the 60s, when they were making Cleopatra, imagine if they screwed up the writing on top of the fact that they spent more money than ever, ever, ever.
yeah,
Now, again, we always will have the people coming in with the argument of like, well, it was still a success because it had $1 billion. And all of us would be like, yes, because everyone expected it to be great and it was completely crap. And
here,
you know what that means? That means everyone bought a ticket, everyone went, and everyone was disappointed.
yeah,
That still means it sold a lot,
yeah. So
but it
before
doesn't mean it was good.
we get to the last thing, there's uh the title of That Good Sports just put out a video 40 minutes ago with 2.7 views titled "Does the Julio Jones trade actually make Tennessee better?" And the thumbnail reads "Three-headed monster."
I don't see how it couldn't.
Yeah, I don't see how it couldn't because, like we said earlier, Julio Jones will
Well, I mean,
take will
what would be the
will
argument that it doesn't?
if
I
Julio
mean,
gets hurt and
no, okay,
the
well, yeah,
entire
but
time,
that,
that's the only
yeah,
way.
okay, but that we don't know that yet. We can't foresee that.
No, we can't.
That can happen to any player.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady could break both legs any day.
Don't start things.
I'm just saying, that wasn't the point. The point was like, does this help the team? The basic concept of him being there, not well. Plus let's throw in the factor he's injured. Well, every player gets injured. It doesn't help the team.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you get injured, you're not helping.
Indeed.
But the basic question is, does Julio being added to the team
Make the team
help the
better.
team?
Yes.
And I don't know how you could answer that no.
Exactly. So, in trying to make shit better, which is the reason why we have this last topic to talk about, why do female characters always look like someone beat them with an ugly stick? In meaning that you have models playing female characters or like what they're supposed to look like in games and shit, right?
Yeah.
But when we see the trailer of said character, 90% of the time, if not more, it feels like they don't look anything like the character model. But yet their male
Yeah,
counterparts look just like their model.
yeah.
Does this not look sexist as fuck to you? Like someone somewhere or like some group of people are ashamed of female looks and are more content with trying to make females look like this without facial hair, which is fucking stupid to do. Because if you make a female look like me, guess what? You're not selling any copies. So, overweight, well, borderline overweight, definitely out of shape, females generally don't sell most of the
Well,
time.
yeah, but the thing is that they come from a perspective of like the Amina Sarkeesian point of view.
Yeah.
It's a combination of radical feminism that doesn't believe in female beauty anymore. Essentially believes that the opposite of beauty should be now considered beauty. um, combined with man hatred. Of course, she has tons of it.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And it's sort of like a way of slapping the male audience in the face and saying, you're going to like these ugly women because we hate you to begin with, and we're not trying to make you happy. We're trying to make you miserable
Except
as much
for,
as possible.
except for
Even
the,
down to leaving your women that you normally adore out of your precious video games. Because
except,
fuck you, that's why.
except for what they don't realize is they're also saying fuck you to women in this case because they're saying that, hey,
Well,
if you look like this, fuck you, you're irrelevant, fuck you. Nobody likes looking at you, or they shouldn't like looking at you.
well, the the end result, bro, is a backfire.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
people end up not liking women who look like that more than they did to begin with.
Shut up, phone. I don't care who's calling me from fucking New York. I don't know anybody in fucking New York. Fuck off, New York.
Um, but anyway,
Not that I don't like anyone from New York. I hate telemarketers.
yeah.
Anyway.
What I was gonna say though is, yeah, if you understand it in the way of essentially feminism having taken over video games among both females and men in the developer category.
But this also is a thing also in movies and TV and basically all
Yeah,
forms of
well,
entertainment as well, like comic books as well. So
yeah,
it's
yeah, of
a
course.
larger issue. It's not really just gaming, but that's generally where I see it the most. Because it's what I
Well, yes,
generally
of
do the
course.
most anyway.
But rest assured, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But in the gaming sphere,
And
um,
evidently it's also in the knitting community, apparently.
oh god, yeah, well, yeah,
As that was brought to my attention by Carrie What's her name when she from Unsafe Space when she was on Friday Night
Carrie,
Tights.
yeah, yeah, Carrie Smith, I believe.
Carrie Smith, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for
that
remembering
was
her name.
so, yeah, that was so bizarre and hilarious and sad at the same time to hear about that.
Yeah, that it started from the knitting community. Okay.
Well, well, I mean, it didn't start from the knit community. It just infected even the knitting community.
Well, either
Even the
way,
knitting community went so woke that they became bigoted toward each other.
you can't use that yarn because it's white. Anyway.
Well, yeah, no, but see, what if you take a look at like um, what was that one? There was another one, like a protege of Carrie in the knitting community
Yeah.
said that she literally got told that her knits were racist.
Inanimate objects are racist now. They're the most neutral things on the planet.
Well, it was really more of them just convicting her for her politics, but she wasn't even politically active, so that's the weird part.
Yeah.
She was like just a regular person who liked knitting, and they were like, "You're a racist," and everyone in the community like divided among the people who were
So,
calling everybody racist, and everybody else that was like, "What is going on here?"
so I'm guessing that Carrie's friend is white.
Well, yes, most of but the accusers were.
You got anything for that, Nord?
Well, I was just saying, like it's both the accuser and the accused were white people.
Yeah, and again, I say, do you have a joke or a meme for that one?
Yeah, well, there's plenty, but that's actually the case with a lot of the anti-racist movement. Which, again, obviously, both racist folks and anti-racist folks need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Only
Indeed.
basically basically because the anti-racist folks have gone way too far and see racism everywhere. And the racist folks have always needed to stop.
Yeah.
You know.
Quite.
But I have to say, if you could create a movement that would turn ordinary, uninvolved, uninterested, perfectly content people into raging racists, actual racists, that's what it's done.
Quite.
So, what good?
It didn't do. It's not doing any good. It's only hurting shit. So with that being said, tomorrow I will be live on the YouTube channel of Drew Gaming playing Dragon Quest Builders for the PS4 to celebrate my birthday tomorrow, which is in fact my birthday.
Yep.
So you guys will come join me over on the gaming channel of Drew Gaming here on YouTube.com tomorrow. Chat with me, and we'll have a good time while I'm playing Dragon Quest Builders tomorrow. I'm going to try to start the live stream somewhere at about noon tomorrow, and hopefully do that for a couple of hours to celebrate my birthday with you guys.
Yeah.
So
do you think I should download that one and play with you or something?
Dragon Quest Builders, I don't know if it has that. I know that the second one does.
Okay.
Online play is optional. Okay, so it does have something like that. So if anything, I would be more inclined to play the second one with you, because that actually has more functional multiplayer to it.
I bet.
But the only reason to play this is I was looking for something that I felt was safe to play on stream, and also that I could stand playing for several hours if it came down to it. Because the idea of Dragon Quest Builders is trying to rebuild the world because an evil darkness took the knowledge from all the NPCs in the world of how to build shit, and you're the only one that knows how to do it, so get building, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the general premise of it. It's basically, like I said before, a more story-driven version of Minecraft. And and the graphics are a little bit cuter and more entertaining than Minecraft.
Well, I do like building things.
Yeah, so check it out tomorrow, Nord, and chat with me on my birthday. So
yeah.
With that being
I definitely intended to do that either way, but yeah.
With that being said, Wednesday we will be going over and previewing everything for E3, including the thing that will be happening on Thursday, Summer Games Fest. On Wednesday for the Drew Games podcast. So we'll be going over that. Everything from Nintendo to Summer Games Fest, Ubisoft, Microsoft, and Bethesda, and anything that is going on, including the PC Game Show and the Future Game Show, and Devolver Digital. That's a lot of shit. I'm probably going to need 5 pages of notes for all of it, I think. But that's what we're going to be up to on Wednesday. The preview for all of that. What are you going to be up to after this episode of Breaking Rocks?
Well, I'm going to get into my usual gaming.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I've reached near the end of the content that's available to me currently. So very shortly, I'll be getting ESO Plus.
All right.
And then I'll be able to do all the DLC.
All of the expansions.
Which some people would think I'm crazy for not already getting ESO Plus, because that craft bag and all that in the bank space.
I just buy the expansions as they come myself.
Yeah, I know, but it's cheaper.
Mm.
And I'm a cheapskate. I'm not, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. and I'm not going to say it. But with that being said, I'm going to check out Flo and Eve's reaction to Tom McDonald's Snowflakes here in just a moment, after we get done filming this here. After that, I'm probably going to try to wrap up my... No, actually, I did just do that before the podcast because I was doing some Madden 21 and wrapping up my second year with the Buccaneers. Tom Brady just left the team, so now it's left to me in my final year under contract there to do something with the Bucs and to see if I can convince them to re-sign me at some point in my final year under contract with them, which is my rookie contract. But beyond that, I've been meaning to get back to playing Skyrim at some point. I do intend to do that during this week because this whole week I don't work. So in between times of watching a live stream for E3 and taking notes on that, I'm going to try to play something at times as much as I can throughout the week, this whole week that I have off from work, just to get content out there for you guys. So as to what I'm going to be playing, I don't know. I'm going to try to play some more Skyrim on Xbox, even though I lean towards just wanting to play that on PC and not really doing streams of it anymore.
Sounds like your remote shut off again, bro.
Fuck. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I'm leaning towards not really wanting to do streams of Skyrim at this point, only because I have it on PC. I prefer playing it there on my own. And also just to free up space on the hard drive of my Xbox One in regards to Fallout 4 and Skyrim at this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in regards to playing live streams, I generally, while I love playing Skyrim all the time, there's just other stuff that I should be playing through on stream instead, though, is what I'm really getting at. But the fact is that I do want to at least not leave the series of The Adventures of Drew Heartfire hanging either. So as far as I'm concerned, the next time that Drew Heartfire dies, that's going to be the end of his story at that point. Because so far Drew Heartfire is not Dragonborn. He's just Breton living in Skyrim. So yeah, as I see it, the next time that Drew Heartfire dies on stream, that's the end of his story. Going forward at that point. Now, the question would then be, am I gonna do another stream on Xbox of another character? I don't know. I lean towards not at this point, but we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I still got plenty of other stuff to do on PlayStation. Like, I still got to finish God of War, got to finish Miles Morales, got to finish Horizon Zero Dawn, and those games I've been playing on stream. So, but I lean towards not doing Miles Morales because of the issues that I've had, like a previous stream, getting blocked. Like a previous stream for Miles Morales has been getting blocked in the past. So. And the controller, the controller's battery keeps dying.
Yeah, well.
So with that,
switch them.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to wrap this up anyway. So, with that being said, we will see you guys on Wednesday for the E3 or E2 or whatever it's called, because Sony ain't there. Preview for whatever E3 is supposed to be called nowadays. And I hope you guys enjoy this. We will see you Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow for my birthday stream. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Later.
There, guys.